Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Today we're previewing the Dragonsiege KvK. So I'm in Home Kingdom, just farming up that mana. My alliance has registered for the Dragonsiege KvK about a week and a half before it actually kicks off. Of course, some servers have already been through this scenario, but this is the first time G2 is going to be in the scenario, and obviously, most of the strongest alliances, they're hanging on G2. So I thought I'd bring you a preview for the scenario today. Okay, so for this KvK, you really have three new mechanics. The first two we're not going to spend a ton of time on. The first one's the Summoner's Tower. This allows you to summon a Flame Dragon and fight it on the map. If you played the Dragon Battle Abyss a few weeks back, this is basically the dragon from that, although it lasts longer. I think the developers heard a lot that the behemoths just weren't making as big of an impact on the map, and I think this is their attempt to address it. Hey, let's be charitable and say it's a step in the right direction. I don't know that this is the best implementation of it, but it is certainly something new, and it does make an impact on the battlefield, although it probably sticks around a little bit too long. Okay, the second new innovation this season is the Citadels. The Citadels are kind of like if the Dark Forts from the Rise of the Dragon KvK and your traditional Spire got together and had a baby, they'd be Citadels. Okay, you can see Citadels, they're always at fixed locations on the map. And what happens is you have to have territory to touch them before you can assault them, like most things in Call of Dragons. There are a ton of Darklings defending them at the start. Once you take it, however, it becomes your territory, and it's a very strong defensive structure, right? So it's sort of like the Dark Fort in that you have to kill a bunch of Darklings to take it, but once you've taken it, it sticks around in the structure and helps you defend that area. And it is a very strong defensive structure. Now you can see, for example, in the Dragon Zone here, these are all pretty far away from the Dragon. What I think the intention is these will keep you sort of in the Dragon Zone, but in terms of capturing the Dragon, you're going to have to fight that out for yourself. Okay, the thing we're going to spend a lot more time on here is the Season War Pet, the Thunder Drake. This is really sort of one of the big new innovations this season that's really focused towards the player. Okay, so when you sign into the KvK, you'll get the Thunder Drake in your, War Pet area here. There's a very short tutorial. It's not a big deal. And then you'll get it. You'll see it has 8 slots, very good stats. You can obviously put skills in these slots later on. I'll talk about that in a minute. You can also improve these stats, okay? And so when you look at your pet enclosure here, you'll see the Thunder Drake there. Sometimes you see a little paw icon above it. Sometimes you don't. Either way, it's not a big deal. You just click on it. You'll see the paw icon. You click on that, and it'll take you to the map here, okay? Now, the map, you'll see a lot of 0 out of 5s, a couple 1 out of 5s, and a 5 out of 5. This just displays how many of the rare drops I've received from that particular zone. So I take a look at Bravos here, and you can see I got all 5 rare drops. But, I go to Vornath, I've only got 1 of the 5 rare drops, and obviously the 0 of the 5s, I haven't gotten any of them, all right? So just an easy way to keep track of where you've gotten your rare drops. Now, this KvK I'm in right now, it's like in the Dragon Zone, so everything's unlocked. But when you start out, not all the areas unlocked. Some of them will unlock over time, okay? Now you can see on this account, it's not like, this is just a test account I used for trying on new features or whatever. It's not very well developed. And I'm just 7 out of 10 here. I'll talk about how you get more little pulls in the minute here. But let's say I want to go to Seraph here. I can either travel 7 times or just travel 1 time. And you can see Seraph's got particular buffs that I would try. Okay, something else to keep in mind about these encounters here. Every one of these zones has one just sort of random encounter you get that increases the stat on your war pet. You can check to see if you've gotten that stat by just clicking on the zone here, and you'll see fantastic encounter. If it's 0 for 1, that means you have not gotten the stat boost from that zone yet. But in certain zones you can click on, you can see, yes, 1 out of 1 here. That means I have gotten the stat boost from the zone already. So now I'm just looking for the rare gifts. Now, like I mentioned in an earlier video, you can customize this war pet to be anything you want it to be other than flying, but you're going to want to pick, either mages or cav or infantry or archers. And so you're going to want to choose the zone that has the key buffs that you're looking for. For example, if I click on Kalor here, you can see it's got a really strong buff for mages. I want to get that buff, so I'm going to spend a travel token and go to Kalor today. So you can see there, I just got a common drop, not very interesting. So I'd want to go to Kalar a lot of times. However, right, I've been to Kalar before. Because I'd already been to Kalar before, I got the stat buff. And so you want to make sure you go to each zone at least once before you sort of focus in on particular zones, right? So I'll go to Thorn. I don't think I've been to Thorn before. I'll travel there one time. And yes, I get the little pop-up here that's going to let me increase my stats one direction or another. So like I said, this is a magic pet. So let's improve the intelligence here. 308, pretty good, okay? Now, like I mentioned, this is just a test account that I use to try out the new things, not well developed, but let's pretend I'd been to all these zones one time, gotten the stat buff. Now I really want to focus in on the specific cards that I need to build up my pet. Because I'm building a magic pet, I really want this skill here. And so what you can do is you can just spend the remainder of your tokens to travel that as many times as you want. And let me tell you, once you click the use all tokens things, that's a good time to get like a cup of coffee or something, refresh your beverage of choice, because this is going to take a minute. And hey, would you look at that? I did get lucky and get a rare drop. Unfortunately, it wasn't the rare drop that I'm looking for, so I would have to spend this guy back to Kalar on a future day. Okay, I'm out of little travel tokens. That's basically all I can do for today. I gotta wait for tomorrow. Okay, so the thing you might be wondering right now is, how do I get additional travel tokens? Okay, you generate 5 a day, but there's a way to increase that with policies. We'll talk about that in just a minute. The other thing you can do, unfortunately, is you can buy it, of course, in this game with the Pass-Through Flames bundle. Anytime that pops up, and basically that pops up anytime a gate is about to open in your zone, you can buy some through the Pass-Through Flames bundle. Don't really love that much. However, you can get everything you need just from the daily regenerations. You get 5 a day, and like I said, we'll talk about how to improve that in just a minute. Okay, for the last part of this video, let's talk through the season policies. I actually think these are pretty interesting this season, but we'll start on the far left here. Pretty obvious, we get our standard, improve your CP recovery speed and improve spread the word. Very standard, seen these 100 times. You need to get these both to level 3 to progress, and you need them to get into level 8 to progress fully. Okay, military expansion, no change there. The first new thing we see here is Incredible Journeys. This increases your daily free attempts. When you have it maxed out, you get an additional 5 attempts a day, so 10 total. This is very easy to maximize very early on. I would recommend you to put this 5 out of 5 on day 1, so on day 2 you get your 10 full attempts. Okay, next level, pretty standard. Additional healing, additional data or resource healing, no big deal there. We've had this choice before, Easy Does It or Opportunist. Opportunist steals resources from the enemy when you kill their farms. Hey, great. The problem with Opportunist, it's always been the same problem. These are seasonal limits. 15 million of each resource across the entire season is fairly low. I think you will find, even if you like to kill farms, even if you're one of those players, you're going to get a lot of additional resources from Easy Does It, okay? Next level, pretty standard here, resource healing, no big deal. This is our first extra warrant. Then we have the bottom line here, Wings Unbound. Okay, I really love that skill, and let me tell you why. Selûne has a bunch of skills that have a very strange trigger. They have to actually be flying to take effect. So if you have Selûne with, Thea and Celestials and a Sapphire Phaedric, hey, everything's great, right? But if you change that Sapphire Phaedric to, I don't know, a Magic Fox, suddenly everything breaks down, and all these skills that say when leading a Flying Legion cease to take effect. Selûne, when she's flying, is really, really strong. When she's not flying, she's not that good. Unless, that is, you get Wings Unbound, okay? Wings Unbound makes everything work, whether she's flying or on the ground. And, Selûne is excellent, excellent when she's flying or when you have Wings Unbound. So, this isn't that far down the tree, so this is great. Selûne is an excellent add to basically any lineup at this point, thanks to this policy. Okay, the next level is kind of interesting, and this is all about the Citadel, right? You can be on top of the Citadel while shooting down. Ready to Strike means you gain more rage, so this is particularly useful if you have a lot of mages and you're going to be on top of the Citadel. The bottom one here makes you move faster within the Citadel. Good for anyone, but in particular good for like infantry cav players, something like that. Okay, this is a choose one. Single-minded makes you tankier from ranged units when you're attacking Citadel buildings. So the main impact here is you're bashing down the gate and like the archers and the mages are shooting you. This makes you take less damage. Okay, Measure for Measure makes you do more counterattack damage to the units that are shooting you. I like Measure for Measure for more your infantry players, and Single-minded I think is better for your cav players. Okay, the next level is pretty standard. Do you want more damage to infantry or cav? More damage to marksmen or mages? No right or wrong answer here. Choose one. Okay, next level, very interesting. Medical Supplies increases your elixir production speed. Wellspring of Vigor increases your max stamina. This is a choose one or the other. My inclination is if you are a strong account, you want to take Wellspring of Vigor. That stamina is very important. However, it is painful to lose the elixir production. This account is not very strong, frankly. That's why I took elixir production here. But I think when you are a stronger player, you want to take Wellspring of Vigor. Next level is a very good thing for the Thunder Drake. Joyful Surprises increases the drop percentage for those rare drops. Obviously you have to take it and you want to take it as quickly as possible. Get this up to 5s5 as soon as you can, okay? Next level is the Army Group buff. Pretty standard here. Unyielding Army makes you take less damage from range. Thundering Stampede makes your Unyielding Rush better. You take less damage and the cooldown's less. Keep in mind, these skills are only for the army groups you create. If you're never going to create an army group, this doesn't matter. If you are going to create army groups, what are you going to create more of? If it's infantry, take Unyielding Army. If it's cav, take Thundering Stampede. The next level, nothing new here. Buried Bones. Okay, we get units back. Make Way. Please go away, but it's the same thing it's always been. Bane for Blood. This is a prestige dump that you're never going to use. You use this, and the CP you spend attacking Darklands or Dark Forts decreases. This has been in 3 or 4 seasons, and I've literally never used it even once. So, oh well, there it is. Okay, we have our pretty traditional healthcare choices here. Apothecary Upgrade increases your capacity. Healthcare Reforms increases your production speed. Main accounts want healthcare reforms. However, I have an alt account that I usually take Apothecary Upgrade with. Probably the same thing here. The bottom level is the same thing, but for resource healing. I've mentioned this before. I always resource heal, but only like during key moments. So I actually kind of like the stockpile for resource healing because I don't resource heal consistently out the season, just in the key fights, during Dragon Zone or whatever that we have to win. So I like stockpile here, but production speed up here. Okay. Military Expansion, Administrative Excellence, nothing new there. This is the same choice as ever. I think all your main accounts really want Diligence just for the stamina bonus more than anything else. Okay. So, better rallies, better garrisons, no big deal there. This is the same level we've had for a bunch of seasons in a row now. Medical Supplies is your flat base increase. Healthcare Reforms is your percentage base increase. Your mature accounts definitely want healthcare reforms. Same thing on the bottom, but for resource healing, mature accounts definitely want medical seminars. Okay, Oath of Glory. I think this is the second season we've had it, and I think we've caught on to it now. Pretty significant buffs here. More counterattack damage, skill damage, and HP bonus, okay? Everyone loves HP bonus, but it's particularly good for infantry. Everyone loves counterattack, but it's particularly good for infantry. And skill damage is really good for cav and mages. So Oath of Glory, if you're an archer player, I guess get bent. The other thing to keep in mind that we all learned the last season we did this is Oath of Glory is permadeath, right? If you're fighting someone with Oath of Glory and you have it on 2, you don't get them back with your Buried Bones. You don't get them back by spending gems. They're dead. They're gone forever. The other thing to keep in mind here is that if you're in a rally or you're in a garrison and the garrison captain or the rally leader has Oath of Glory enabled, it's enabled for everyone in that rally or that garrison to mean that if both sides have it, everyone that takes death in that rally garrison fight, they're permadead. Okay. The last level here, Private Practice. You spend prestige to get elixir. This is the good prestige dump. Ignore Bane for Blood earlier. And then Palliative Care. Every time you have a level 4 unit or higher that dies, you get 1 elixir. Just a little extra elixir this season. Okay, one final note on the Thunder Drake on the the War Pet system this season. I just gave you a quick down and dirty of sort of how the system works. But if you're interested in learning how I think you should build out particular war pets based on the playstyle you want, for example, a Cav war pet or a Cav war pet that focuses on boosting your other Cav marches versus a Cav war pet that does as much damage as it can itself. I'm happy to put those guides together, but I'm not sure there's any interest. So if that is something you'd be interested in, leave me a comment below. If I get enough interest, I'd be happy to put those guides together. All right, and like I said, we are registered for this KvK. I'm looking forward to it about a week and a half before our KvK begins. So enjoying some downtime in the home kingdom, getting those mana supplies back up to where they need to be, but looking forward to getting back to some good competition. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, and until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.